To have this beautiful slanted shoulder dress, first of all, get your basic pattern. I'll drop a link of the one I drafted this from. That one was completely an off shoulder. Okay, first of all, you measure where you want the slant to be. Mine is 6 inches. Once I get my 6 inches, I would slant it from the shoulder tip down to that line of my 6 inches. All right, the next thing I'll do is, after doing this, I'll first of all use my pencil to mark this out. Should there be mistake along the line, it can easily be cleaned off by eraser. Okay, once I'm done drafting this, correcting and aligning them together, I'll go ahead and use my marker to make it permanent. All right, after using my marker to make it permanent, I'll go ahead and bring my back pattern and place together. Mark my 6 inches again, rule it out, and use my pencil to connect it from both tip of the shoulders, where two of them will be joining for the side that will be having shoulder. After marking it with my pencil, I'll bring in my marker to make it bolder, to know where I can easily cut out. Okay, now I'm done drafting it. I use my marker to make it bold. Most times these patterns, when they are not properly labeled, you get confused once you try and remove the dart legs and separate them from each other. Okay, so you have to properly label. After labeling, you cut out the slant that you no longer needed, place it together to have a uniform shoulder line. Now I'll have to remove my darts. Okay, but first of all, I'll make my center front and my side front to align together, so that when I'm done cutting and sewing it, one will not be longer than the other. So when you align them together, you have to trim out the little excess that you have. Okay, so next thing I'll do, after trimming it, after marking aligning them, I'll trim that little piece out. Then I'll separate the whole pattern from each other and do proper labeling. After labeling all, the next thing you do is bring your fabric, place them, and use your separated patterns to place on your fabric. Here I'm using the front of my fabric to draft this out. When I'm done sewing, you will not hardly even notice these shock lines. Okay, here, okay guys, I'm done tracing out and cutting out my fabric. This is what I have. Next, I'll go to the sewing machine. You join all this together. Use your fabric to make a bias. Okay, I use my fabric to make the bias or along the neckline and the back line back as well. Okay, then put the styling you want. I did the down part, gathers at the down part. Now after joining, you iron. Proper ironing, guys, proper ironing. Iron well. Okay, it makes your work neat. When I'm done ironing the back, the front pattern, I used my breast ham to properly mold the bust area very well. Okay, iron it both front and back, then you join the whole pieces together, put your styling. Mine was hip gathers that I added, and sleeve, puff sleeve or bishop sleeve as you all may know it, and a little tie at the extreme. So that's the styling I made, and this is what it came off. Please, when notching, don't go in too much. If not, it will be hard for you to weave it. Okay, it will hard for you to interlock it. I just did slant notching at the under bust, all right, so that I can properly iron well, but it wasn't so deep. Okay guys, once you are done with this, you go ahead and do your ironing, joining, finishing touches. Add your sleeve depending on the style of the sleeve you want. I think that will be all, nothing much. Okay, just make sure all your work is perfectly neat, perfectly put together. And the way I did this, using the front to cut it out, it made me not to make mistakes. There are sometimes I use left and put at the right. Okay, so this is the easiest way to cut this. If you don't know how to use pattern paper to cut. You can draft out your fabric, then place front and back together, then you can now cut. Some people do, after joining the whole fabric together, they can now cut it out and use bias to turn the neckline. You can as well do that. What the essence of putting this here is to avoid all the mistakes we usually do when cutting slanted shoulder and off shoulder. Some people call it shoulder and off shoulder dress, while some call it slanted and shoulder dress. Okay, so these are all just to avoid mistakes. So once I'm done, I just put them together and my dress is ready, as good as ready. Every other thing is just your choice of styling. I think that will be all right. So the end result, guys, is very giving. If this video resonates with you, please do like, subscribe and share. Thank you. Stay tuned for other videos. Thank you.